Welcome back to another explainer. So, today we're tackling a topic that brings a very specific kind of anxiety to homeowners. If you own a property with a flat roof, especially in places like West Sussex, where the British weather absolutely loves to keep us guessing, you probably know that low-level dread. You look up at your extension or maybe your garage, and you just start wondering, how long is that flat roof actually going to hold out against the driving rain, the frost, and the baking sun? It's one of those looming maintenance milestones that literally no one wants to get wrong.
Which brings us to the big one, the crucial, central question that every single property owner asks before we even think about comparing materials. How long does a flat roof actually last? It's the question that dictates your budget, your property's safety, and honestly, your peace of mind. But before we get into the weeds of how to optimize them, we have to understand that the honest answer isn't just a single magic number. It's a spectrum, right? And it depends entirely on what's up there.
Okay, let's just dive right into this. Here is the macro view of the big three materials dominating the flat roofing market right now. We're going to staircase upward from our budget option to the premium tier. At the baseline, we have torch-on felt, sitting at an expected 15 to 25 years. Bridging that middle gap is GRP fiberglass at 20 to 30 years. And finally, leading the pack by a pretty huge margin, we've got EPDM rubber, boasting an impressive 30 to 40 years.
Section 1. The Big Three, comparing flat roof materials.
So why do these lifespans jump around so much? Well, to understand that, we need to look at what these systems are actually made of. Let's start right at the foundation with the 15 to 25-year tier. This is our first material, and we can kind of affectionately think of it as the budget-friendly veteran of the roofing world.
And that veteran is torch-on, or bituminous felt. Now, listen, you might be picturing those old, super fragile, single-layer felt roofs from decades ago that tore easily and just constantly leaked. Modern felt systems are a completely different animal. Today, they're laid out in multiple layers and securely heat-bonded to the roof, giving you a much tougher result. You're not going to be rushing for the buckets the second the weather turns. So the key takeaway here is that while it might not match the newer synthetics for sheer decades of longevity, it's really reliable. It offers amazing value for a quick 15 to 25-year fix, and it is incredibly fast for a pro to install or repair.
All right, stepping up the longevity ladder, we hit the 20 to 30-year mark. This brings us to our second material, a massively popular option that I like to call the tough, walkable contender.
We're talking about GRP fiberglass, which stands for glass-reinforced plastic. What's actually fascinating about GRP is how it fundamentally differs from felt. It creates this completely solid, hard-wearing surface. Because it's totally seamless, there are absolutely no joins for water to creep through over time. And since that finish is rock solid rather than soft, it easily handles foot traffic. That makes it the absolute perfect choice for things like balconies, dormers, or roofs you might actually need to walk on. But a really quick word of warning here. To hit that 30-year mark, professional installation is non-negotiable. GRP has to be laid in strictly dry conditions. Otherwise, you're looking at future cracking.
Finally, we reach the top tier, the 30 to 40-year mark. This is the premium option. Think of this final material as the flexible, long-lasting survivor.
Enter the EPDM rubber membrane. This stuff is a highly advanced synthetic rubber, and its real superpower? Insane flexibility and weather resistance. It copes brilliantly with the wild temperature swings and the harsh UV exposure that roofs face all year round, especially down in the south of England. When it gets hot out, it expands. When it freezes, it contracts. And it does all of this without splitting or cracking. It needs practically zero maintenance, making it the ultimate fit-and-forget solution for garages and extensions.
Section 2. The hidden variables. What really dictates lifespan?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, well, buying a 40-year EPDM roof means absolutely nothing if you ignore the external factors acting on it every single day. There are 4 critical failure points that can drastically shorten a roof's life, no matter what material you chose. 1. Installation quality. 2. Drainage. 3. Maintenance. And 4. Weather exposure. These 4 things are the true gatekeepers of your roof's lifespan.
Let's single out the absolute biggest culprit on that list. Poor workmanship is, without a doubt, the most common cause of early flat roof failure. I really cannot stress this enough. High-quality materials will never overcome a bad installation. If the seams aren't sealed right, or if your GRP is laid down when it's damp, you're going to be dealing with leaks way before the material itself actually expires.
Next up, we got to talk about water. Standing water, which roofers actually call ponding, acts almost like a magnifying glass for UV rays. Plus, it puts this immense constant pressure on the seals, which dramatically shortens the life of any flat roof. Compare that to clear drainage, which effectively whisks the water away and significantly extends the roof's life. When you add in constant weather exposure, beating sun, deep frost, heavy storms, it becomes pretty obvious why giving rainwater an easy escape route is vital.
And, we can't forget your role in all this. Essential, proactive maintenance is absolutely key. We're talking about safely clearing out those gutters so water can actually flow, checking the flashings around the edges, and dealing with even the most minor issues the exact moment you spot them. Staying on top of maintenance like this can literally add years to the lifespan of your flat roof.
Section 3. The expert verdict. To bring this all together, the insights we've been breaking down today come straight from the deep local expertise of High and Dry Roofing. They're a family-run flat roofer operating down in West Sussex with well over a decade of hands-on experience. They note explicitly that poor workmanship is the most common cause of early failure. And this brilliantly illustrates our ultimate takeaway for today. Securing honest advice, high-quality workmanship, and a written guarantee from experienced pros is the absolutely only way to ensure your roof hits its maximum lifespan. Yes, the material matters, for sure, but the installer matters just as much.
Which leaves us with one final, highly provocative thought for you to chew on today. Is your flat roof nearing the end of its life? If you've been putting off having it looked at, or if you've been kind of ignoring a little bit of ponding up top, let this explainer be your wake-up call. Get a professional inspection, know exactly what materials you're dealing with, and protect your property for decades to come. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.